Hello, and thank you for joining us for another edition of the Partners in Prevention Show. I'm your host, Keeta King. The month of January is Poverty Awareness Month. More oftentimes than not, we bear witness to the effects of poverty, and not necessarily so much the causes or the stories behind a poverty situation. And joining me today is Miss Lelia Thompson and Miss Sarah Malik, and they're willing to share with us a little bit about their own personal stories and their own personal experiences in past poverty situations. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you.
And Lelia, since you're kind of a veteran on the show, I'll start with you, and I know you're very passionate about speaking out about poverty and raising people's awareness who may have never been in those situations. You kind of raise their awareness about poverty. Why are you so passionate about telling your story?
Because the community needs to know where you come from and where you're trying to go. Everybody's just not, going to stay in the same situation. You can come up above water and change. And, and if you're if you're in the community and you're doing any kind of donating to any kind of organization, you want to know what you're helping.
Right.
It's easy to write a check or give money, but you never get to see the person you're helping.
Right.
Or you want to get affiliated with who you're helping. You want to know more because you donate. So they just need to meet the people that they're helping. If they've been donating for years, because we have a lot of people donate, but they don't know what they donate to.
And when you say donating to, what do you mean? What are they donating to?
If it could be in funding for nonprofit organizations, even for like Christmas, because it's a big thing every year about people helping to make sure everybody, kids have Christmas toys. So you want to be able to meet those kids. You want to be able to meet that family.
And see where they came from.
See where they came from, to get a better understanding of what you're doing. Because I can go buy a toy all day long and drop it off, but once I go take it to the family and talk and sit down and meet them, get to know them, okay, I know more of that situation, okay. And then you know what more you need to do.
I understand.
It don't have to always be donate. It could be your time. You could befriend somebody, and your presence makes a whole lot of difference.
And you are a graduate of the Bridges Out of Poverty
Yes.
courses, and I understand they helped out a whole lot. And you also spoke in the Bridges Out of Poverty conference with Dr. Ruby Payne.
Yes.
One of the reasons I think people are so adamant about talking to you and wanting to hear your stories because you're so candid with telling your story, as is Sarah, about how you became a victim of poverty and your journey out of it. Do you mind sharing on set some of your story, some of your past in regard to your felony charge and how that's affected you?
I got my felony charge it's hindered me from certain jobs, and when you have a felony, you almost have to go make a job. And when I say make a job, it can be from washing a car, mowing a yard, or just painting the house or whatever. You got to make yourself. If they won't hire you, you got to make a job for you. You got to know how to go out here and start working for yourself. You can be your own boss at times, until you be able to get a job. But with the felony charge and somebody coming from lockup, when you step ground, you need to be working soon as possible. You don't want to. It's not. We're gonna wait another day. We'll say, okay, well, we're gonna look for a job tomorrow. But when you are in need of a job, you need to be looking for a job all the time. That's if you go to a convenience store, you need to be asking whoever you pass by, who's hiring? Do they hire people with a felony charge? Or the last interview you took, you want to ask them, you won't hire them, but who will? Because we know somebody that's going to be able to help us. If it's just more in their yard, you want to be able to do it. You want to be able to stay working, because when you coming out of a situation, you want to be able to provide for yourself, because you're already being taken away. Now they're giving you, they already have put something on your back and say, this is, okay, you got a felony, it's going to be hard to get a job. And they might be saying, you'll be back, you'll do it again. And so your whole motive is, oh, no, I won't be back. I have changed, and it's going to be hard, but if it's that easy, you won't have nothing to fight for.
Right.
You won't have nothing to fight for even after you get a job. Usually for myself, I had to work 2 or 3 jobs at one time. And now I just work one job and go to school, but I don't want to work hard like that all my life.
Right.
I just, I don't want to work hard like that. I want to, I don't want to have to leave one job from the next job. I want to be able to go work one job and be through with it. So that's where the schooling come in, and the education, and trying to learn everything I possibly can.
And you are a person who has taken your situation and continue to make the best of it, which kind of it dispels any outsider's view of, this person chose this and they choose not to help themselves or do any better. You're doing just the opposite. Your past, as far as how did you end up in a situation that landed you? Was it due to poverty? The situation that landed you into getting a felony charge?
It was due to poverty. Growing up, my mother didn't have a lot. I think my daddy got killed when I was 8 years old. We stayed in our house wasn't adequate. My mother just didn't do her part as a parent, and I left home and I started taking care of myself. When I said start taking care of myself, I started doing criminal activities, and just started taking care of myself. And I was going to school, dropped out of school. Later on in life, I keep doing this, still taking care of myself. I call it taking care of myself, but
I understand.
But I'm not really taking care of myself. But I wasn't ever taught the right way. And when you get locked up and you get in a situation and everything been taken away from you, you can accept what they trying to teach you, or you don't accept it. But once you accept it and start learning stuff, this is the way it's supposed to go. And so once you step back out, the way. But you have to. It's not easy, and it takes some people. It takes a lot of years for. But I can truly say I thank God for where I've been, because I know what I know.
That's good.
And I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about, the police gonna stop me, and we over here doing this and that. I don't have to worry about that as of today.
Have a peace.
Peace of mind. And you have to change your mindset when you're changing your life. You got to believe who you are in Christ. And a lot of it it's not just me, it's God. It's the doors that have been opened up for me that no man can close. Sometimes I'm just wild about it, because I'm like, okay, you want me to do this, but I just thank God that I am doing it, and this is me.
And what I hear you saying is that you didn't choose poverty, that you were born into a situation that kind of led you to those criminal activities, and that's no longer who you are. We often hear the term poverty is a trap, and to me that story that you just shared is an example of that trap. And Sarah, we have not heard from you just yet. I understand that you are, again, a very different story, yet another story that points in the direction of being a victim of circumstance. And you were actually, taking the Bridges course and completed it, and were working and kind of getting your feet on level ground and moving to a place of sufficiency, and you had a situation take place. And would you share with our viewers kind of what happened in your case?
Well, I was going through a tough time trying to get a job and get on my feet and stuff, and it felt like I was finally doing that, finally getting where I was going to be okay and take care of my son. And then he got injured. He got hit in the eye with a dart and has been through surgeries and doctor's appointments, and still to this day continuing to do that. And for the first month, I had to give him eye drops every hour whenever he left the hospital, and the nurses weren't there to do that anymore. And of course, he needed somebody to stay home with him because he was on bed rest. And so I had to take off work for a month, and that definitely pushed me back a bit. And it's like, once you get in that hole, it's 10 times harder to get out. So I think the best thing that's helped me is just get out there get resources, get help. If somebody can't help me, they know who can. That's definitely been very helpful in what's getting me through, along with God. As she said, sometimes the things that He does just
amazes you.
yes.
How old is your son?
He's 6.
Okay. What are some of the biggest misconceptions, judgmental views of others in regard to poverty?
People can say that people in poverty are lazy, they don't want to work, but they want to work. They just don't know who will hire them. The fear, if you living in poverty, you got some kind of fear of somebody saying something about you, or where you came from, or what you say, or how you look. But the other people that can do the helping, they'll probably say, oh, they lazy, they don't want to work. Just if I was holding a sign and say I work for food, and they say, oh, they need to get a job. They want to work for food. But I mean, they need to get a job, but the sign say I will work for food. So that means I will work for the food.
Right.
So what part of it that you're not, they're not just saying give me something, they saying I will work for the food. They didn't say I'm finna work for money, they say I'm gonna work for the food. But we'll judge them because they stand on the corner holding that sign. But they're doing something, they trying, and so you have to help. If somebody's doing the effort of trying, you have to help them, because you stay in this community, and this is your community as well. Regardless if you stay on the high end or the low end, you're gonna be in contact with somebody in poverty every day. So you can help, or you can just sit back and don't help. But you have to watch what you say when you're talking about anything as far as poverty, because you'll see it again. You'll see it again, or you might not think that person have lived in poverty, and you might have a discussion, and you might have stepped on that other person's toes till they tell you about it.
And I can just understand how hurtful it could be, especially when you're in a situation such as both of you, when you didn't ask for the situation. It kind of just it happened. Have you experienced any of that? I know you had to stop a job for a bit and help your son, and everyone doesn't know your story, so all they see is what they see. Do you ever experience that? Any maybe sly remarks, or just how you're treated?
I think the biggest one comes to the top of my mind is, thankfully I had a job when I was able to get back to work, but they just didn't treat me the same. And since then, I know whenever I let them know about a month ahead that he was going to have another surgery, and then the day before his surgery, the owner comes and tells me that I probably can't take off because somebody else called in sick.
Can't take off for your son's surgery.
Which can't be rescheduled. It was a ASAP thing. And I said, I mean, no disrespect, but to be honest, whether somebody can cover my shift or not, this is something I have to do.
Right.
And she's telling me, well, I have a business to run, and if you can't come, then I don't want you here. And so it's like I have to choose. Do I want, well, it's really not a choice for me. It's an automatic given.
Right.
But do I want to make sure my son is okay and gets the care that he needs, or go to work?
And that's so unfair.
Yes.
To have to choose a living versus being there by bedside for your son, and being the first face he sees when he wakes up from his surgery.
And of course, I have a lot of people tell me I went to college to get my CNA license, and I just kind of cut it off there. And people tell me I should go further, and I want to, and one day I will. But when you're in the position where you go to work all day, and then you got to take care of your son and make sure you can get him to where he needs to go, there's no time left for school. So I'm just stuck in this low-paid job until something happens.
Something changes, and it will. What would you say, Lelia, to someone who is from a similar background that you've had, who has found themselves in a poverty situation and not pleased with it, not at peace with being there, who wants to get out just as you have done and continue to do? What would you say to them?
Change their mindset, believe in who you are, get around positive people, and if you have a low self-esteem, you want to stay around. You want to if you befriend somebody that's very strong, that's who you want to be around with, because you can feed off their spirit, and you can, you know, you want to stay happy, even though the situation might look bad, but you can overcome it. You know, if I can overcome this situation, and usually when I'm talking to somebody, I kind of throw in where they can be, oh, poor me, but I throw in my situation and they shut it down. Okay, Lelia, you're right. You know, you have to rise for the occasion if you want it. Every day is not going to be an easy day. And we know that it's not going to be an easy day for any normal person, but you got to believe who you are and where you're trying to go. Because if you don't believe in your own self, you know, you'll stay stuck.
You have to be your biggest fan.
Yes.
Right. Right.
And you want to be able to stand up what you believe in. If you want to go back to school, you go back to school. If you want a better job, you look for a better job. If that job requires more training, you get training. You know, you find out who's giving this training. You find out who have went. If you want to be a nurse, you get over there with the nurses.
Right.
You'll get with the nurses
I like that.
for them to guide you where you need to go. You know, if you want to be a manager, you hang out with managers. You question them. You know, how did you get where you at? You know, and a lot of stuff is that we'll keep our mouth and be closed and we never ask questions. But you want to ask questions. You want to be. I deal with the public every day, and I'm a talkative person, and I ask a lot of questions. You're not going to pass me up without me questioning you, you know, because that's just me, because I want to know, and I want to see what you're doing, and can I get involved, and you want to stay, you know, I actually have really changed. I can definitely say that, and a lot of my stuff is about growing up. After I spoke at the Ruby Payne stuff, I started thinking more and more about when I was a child, how I did have a little help and I didn't accept that, because you know, you just be so disobedient that you don't accept your help until you get disciplined, and then you start, you know, okay, this is why they were saying this. But some stuff, when you're dealing with children today or kids, you have to explain yourself to them why I don't want you to do this. What's the outcome of it? And we need you to go this way. Did you understand that situation that happened last week with this child? You know, a lot of stuff we just won't explain. We think that our child, when I'm disciplining my child, I can myself, you know better than that, but then I have to stop and start explaining.
Do they really know better? Right.
This is why I'm doing this. This is why you don't do this, because I didn't get that explaining to them. So I kind of like know, and the kids here is the next generation, and we have to get our kids to be more open, telling us what's going on, and we want to see what's going on with them, because we don't want them to. The sky's the limit for them. You know, we have so much stuff now for our kids that we probably didn't have back then, that they can be whoever they want to be, and we want them to be leaders, and you know, we want them to help the community. You know, we don't want them to be slackers. We want them to be working and get trained, and you know, we want them to help. You know, and because they're going to be in the next 10 years, they are the next generation. You know, and we'll be older. You know.
Sarah, would you like to add anything to that? I know you're still kind of in your situation and working your way out of it. And would you do anything different today?
I don't think so. I realized over the past couple years how important just the way you look at life is, and your positive attitude. Because I know when I was younger, I didn't really have that. And I wondered, you know, why are people not there for me as much? This and this and this. But now that I have that positive outlook, and it doesn't matter if I'm having the worst day ever, I'll try to think about that one good thing that's going right. And I think that it helps a lot. And people want to be around you more. They want to help you more.
I thank you guys so much for joining us today and just for openly sharing, because that's not always an easy thing to do. And it seems like both of you are in a place to where you're able to actually share and give back and offer some help to someone else who may have been in the similar situation. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would like more information about Partners in Prevention and or the Bridges Out of Poverty courses, contact Partners in Prevention at 903-237-1019 or visit us on the web at pip.longviewtexas.gov. Thank you.